today. We have a number of speakers on one in particular, 1363. We had the hearing on this bill last year. I just spoke with the author. It wasn't the chair's impression or intention to take a lot of additional testimony on that bill, but instead to bring that up today because in sound before the committee what the author of the bill had done. So I'll instruct that further later. But the speakers on that bill might consult with the author as we begin to settle in and get the committee ready to call to order. Yes, ma'am. Let me go ahead and call this meeting to order. We have members here. Let me. I was looking down and saw a different bill number here. If I referred to a bill number earlier, I meant to refer to Representative Bell's Bill 206 is what we had before, and that we had not planned to take a lot of testimony on because we had that bill up last year. My apologies. I see a number of people that signed up. This is our first hearing on 1363. So that was I just completely misspoke looking over at my list here. So it's Representative Bell's bill. And Representative Bell, I mentioned to you earlier that you had a lot of people signed up for it. You do have a few people for 206, but I just got the numbers backwards on that. So we will do that. We do have a number of bills to go through today. We are in a position to have a second hearing for this year on one of those. That would be 1293. The other items I want to let, we'll go through quickly in the order here to allow people to get to other meetings. And I'm going to try to manage this and take best use of everyone's time in so doing, as I also have to present a bill. But with that said, I want to again thank everybody for coming and call this meeting to order. We have 6 items, I believe, on the agenda today that we're going to try to get through and do that as quickly as possible. The first 2 items I would like to just sound today, and I'll ask both the members to be brief in their presentation, but I would like to put them before the committee. These are items we had last year. One of them we moved out of the committee, House Bill 88, and we'll do that first. So if Representative Barnes, if you want to tell us briefly about your measure, and we'll put it before the committee, and then we'll bring you back at the will of the committee to move you forward on Wednesday. So Representative Barnes, you're recognized to present your item, HB 88.
HB88, we passed this out of this committee last session. Is to provide student loan forgiveness for veterinarian technicians. So we passed SB 20 last session as well, which gives student loan forgiveness to veterinarians. And I'm asking for 5 $10,000 loans to help 5 lucky vet techs who would assist the veterinarians that we provided student loan forgiveness last session.
Thank you, Representative. And I also, let me, I don't know if this is the formal way to do that, but I am informed by the learned staff here that you too have a new title, and it would be most appropriate to recognize you as Dr. Representative or Representative Doctor, whichever the case may be. Congratulations.
That's right. Thank you. I appreciate
Congratulations. Good. That's very.
Thank you.
Well done and well deserved. this is before us. Again, we have a substitute LC 610402S. I think the committee's familiar with this from last year. If you would just look this over, since it's a tweak to the bill and we haven't seen it this year, I'm going to ask the committee to look over that, and we'll be prepared on Wednesday to move that forward. If there's a question for the representative, please get with them before Wednesday. All right, questions on that? We'll move on. And I'm sorry, we do have number 15. Who's that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to call the committee's attention to the flyer you got from the Veterinary Association. I know I have met during the off season with many of those in the veterinary industry, and it is definitely a shortage of these vet technicians throughout the state, especially in rural Georgia, trying to get veterinarians time to practice large animal veterinary practice, and so there is definitely a shortage, and I appreciate the author trying to do this.
Vice Chair of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a point of to clarify, it's 5 at 30,000, right? 10,000 per year. Am I reading that right? 30,000 per person on line 35.
You can get up to 30,000, so you can get 10 per year for 3 years.
Okay.
And it's $10,000 for a total of 50,000
Per year.
on an annual basis. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't think he was taking exception with it. He was just pointing out over time.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for the
All right.
question.
With that, we'll move forward. Representative Bell, I'm going to ask you. I'll set you up as you're headed to the microphone to help you be even more brief than you might normally be. Representative Bell has brought us a proposition, and I believe I am fair to capture that. Is you're looking so that a minor offense would not cost someone their opportunity to continue to participate in the educational system. And I'm sorry, Dr. Clark is right between you and I there, so I'm gonna slide over a little bit and be able to make eye contact. That you've been working with us diligently to find the appropriate language on that. And I think we do need a little tweaking, but with that, if you would just tell us real briefly about your measure as well.
HB 206 originally spun as a complete repeal of the Postsecondary Act of 1990. With the support of this body, as well as the chairman, we will redact that language and make it smaller, somewhere more succinct, to where that the Postsecondary Drug Act will not be repealed. But if a student or individual or Georgian, it has a marijuana conviction that is for personal use, they will not lose the Hope Scholarship or eligibility for the Hope Scholarship. While originally we're seeing the whole repeal, I understand that we move in with wisdom, justice, and moderation. So this will be a moderate step in the right direction to put us in federal standings with the Pell Grant and FAFSA, as well as recently the National Health, HHS, as well as the FDA, with the urges of President Trump, has moved to do a reschedule of marijuana from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. Additionally, this bill is about stronger families, stronger communities, and stronger families, stronger communities. When individuals have access to employment, that reduces recidivism, then it reduces desperation, and that reduces crime. This puts people back to work and keeps them out of jail, where our criminal justice system is already seeing the weight of multiple arrests, the weight of repeated offenders. This helps individuals stay employed, get employed, and create stronger families for stronger communities to keep Georgia the #1 place to do business. Thank you. And as you see in front of you, that is not the committee substitute. Often, these things get lost in translation when putting forth the committee substitute. If I can follow up with Brittany and see where that has specifically where we codify what personal use, marijuana for personal use is. It should be on lines 41 and 42, but I'm not sure why the committee substitute didn't make it.
No, I can, yeah, I can say this. The committee substitute that we should be dealing with is LC 492631S. I am just told it is in my folder, but it is not in some of the members' folder. And we were, as I told you earlier, we were looking on that today, but I think that it's fair to say what you're looking to do is to peel this back so that a single offense would not be the sole reason for an individual losing access to loans and the Hope Scholarship.
Yes, sir.
And it does say possession of marijuana for personal use. If I could sound this and then we'll go to questions. What I have done is I've asked our friends down in House Judiciary to help us with a further definition of that, because personal use is a bit subjective. And I don't mean to be light about that, but you could have, 2 units of something, and then you might call it for your personal use, and if you were arrested, they might say, well, you had one for you and a friend. That's not personal use. So the long and short of it, we're trying to get to an amount here, and again, that would be that would not be the sole reason that you could do that. You have a couple of questions here. Is that you, number 6, Dr. Clark?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you so much for this bill. I think it's an amazing bill. I did want to ask the chair if he could repeat the LC number.
I can do that. It's LC 492631S, but we will get that as we speak here. We'll have Brittany email that out, and I would tell you that we would have a tweak coming to that. Just in the lines where it says for personal use, we're either going to define personal use or use a better definition in those personal. It would be the chair's preference to define personal use for this code section, because it's used in several occasions rather than to repeat the language through multiple sections in the state code.
And
yes, ma'am.
A follow-up question. And I think it's actually answered here for me. This is not just for cannabis use, right?
Originally, the bill was intended for any drug usage. Often students, while cannabis represents a significant number, students suffer from addiction ranging from cocaine to methamphetamines to cytosine to whatever their person may use. But moving with wisdom, justice, and moderation, our state motto, the chair sees fit that we move forward with marijuana for personal use.
Cannabis only for now. Okay, that answers my question. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Cannabis only for now.
I'm sorry, Representative Stinson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just have more of a comment. I'm very impressed with the number of letters that we have here in support of this legislation. So thank you, Representative Bell, for your work on this. And I do look forward to this legislation becoming law in Georgia, because as you stated, we are the #1 state to do business. So we want to keep that reputation going and ensure that our students can receive the education they deserve so they can become productive citizens and pay taxes in this state of Georgia. So thank you.
Thank you, Representative Stinson.
Representative, I see no more questions. We'll get you some corrected language, and I hope to have you back Wednesday.
All right. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you, members of the committee.
Thank you. We're going to go a bit out of order here. I think we have our president of the University of North Georgia that has another place that you have to be. Is Governor Floria here? Representative Wade? Do you have somebody that's going to come help you? Yes. If y'all would come forward and tell us about your proposition 1328. This is our first look at that. We have a lot of things on the agenda, so I want you to be thoroughly brief, or briefly thorough.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I encourage you, I should say. I would encourage you to be brief. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chairman. And I just want to welcome some friends from the University of North Georgia. We've got Dr. Michael Shannon, and we have Captain Trevor Holbrooks with us. This is regarding the North Georgia Military Scholarship Program. I appreciate Chairman Bonner bringing this to my attention and working with him on this important issue. We're wanting to make some tweaks to subpart of 5A, Part 3 of Article 7 in Title 20. You're working from LC 610393. Let's make sure everybody's got that. It's just a couple of tweaks. Basically, I want the message to be this: we as representatives have an opportunity to help improve this program by highlighting that in every congressional district, we are the ones that nominate students to become military scholarship recipients. So you each individually have the opportunity to do that. And I think that many of us who have been serving for a few years, like myself, or even possibly some that have been serving many years, are not aware of that opportunity. We have 14 congressional districts in Georgia, and they want to have the opportunity to receive a minimum of 6 and no more than 10 application referrals each year. Currently, there are about 149 folks in the program. I think there are 12 that are in the process of being added. The budget currently has about 3.7 million. We're currently spending about 3.4. This would expand to a maximum of 210, which would be 70% of what the university believes will be the target of 300 members of the Corps to help with our modernization and expansion to serve the nation's leadership demands for our military. So realistically, we're moving from not less than 6 and not more than 10 persons, which is on lines 16. And then if you notice in the code where we're going to change lines 30 through 37, I'm not going to read all of that to you, but basically it will help the Army National Guard expand for our readiness. So happy to answer any questions.
You have a couple questions. I just wanted to sound this. This is, again, our first hearing, and you do have a couple of questions. And I am going to have to step away to make a presentation in the committee. I'll turn it over to the Vice Chair of the committee, Carter Barrett. But on line 16, I know why you went with the not less than 6, because it used to be 6. But I would just question is to be not more than 10. Might be something you look at. I mean, if somebody didn't have 6, you wouldn't do that. But that's just a suggestion for you all to make the numbers correct.
I'm happy to talk with them.
But that's completely up to you. That's just an operations thing. We want you to get what you need to have for that. And with that, I'm going to give me just a second to consult with the Vice Chairman. I'll turn it over to him. And my apologies. I'll be back straight away.
Okay, we have some questions at this time. Representative Bruno, number 12.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am well aware of your program since when I was elected, and I have recommended students for the program. And I know that out of the 3, I think 2 of them did graduate. However, it appeared to be, for me, and this may be something you want to look into, that some of our schools shifted our ROTC programs. And so like in our county, some schools don't have it anymore. I know in one school that was my school, that the person that was in charge of ROTC, he gave the names for the students. So I didn't get that opportunity. So I think that it also has to have some clarification from the district level and on the school level as to who is supposed to recommend those students. Because like you said, I don't think a lot of people know that they're supposed to, or that they have the ability to do it. So I do think that with school districts not having as many ROTC programs, that you may want to find out who that person that's in charge that can relate that information so that those individuals will contact us.
Yes, ma'am. Great feedback.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Representative Glaze, number 1.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you so much for bringing this bill. I was a high school counselor, and so I used this bill for lots of my students who all of them graduated. So, of course, I support this bill in its essence and know how it's implemented and how it really, really is helpful. What I do want to ask is if there is not 3 to 6 people from a particular district, and we fill that with students from another district, they're there for 4 years. What happens the next year when maybe there's students from that district that can actually now take advantage of it? Is there a difference in how many people can actually take advantage of it, or is this going to be done annually?
Yes, ma'am. Well, the intent is to have a cohort model, a 4-year model. So that should shift much like the federal model, the way that the service academies are managed. So absolutely. Recognizing there may not be a qualified and or interested student, but the following year, if there are, maybe there are 4 or 5 more, that model should allow, that's what this is intended to do.
What that does.
That's exactly what we're trying to do with this.
Thank you so much. And
Yes,
I love
ma'am.
the bill and at the proper time.
Thank you so much.
Representative Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. To my friend, my question is just very simple. One, how did y'all choose the 210 number?
Sure.
And the follow-up to that would be, as it is currently appropriated now, would we need to add any additional funds to the budget if we maxed out on the number of scholarships or I guess for FY27?
Yes, so I'll answer the second part first. So the rough estimate I've not seen, and Chairman Bonner's here. Do we have a fiscal note yet? Okay. We have requested a fiscal note, but just in a rough estimate, talking with student finance, it would be about a $900,000 increase to what we currently have appropriated in the 27 budget, which is a little over 3.7 million. Currently, the number of active cadets are receiving about $3.4 million total in this current budget. So there's a little bit of room for growth. Going to 210 would probably grow that somewhere in the neighborhood of $4.8 million total. So about a $900,000 increase. And I'll let the president answer the question as to their recommendation for 210.
Thank you, ma'am. It's a great question. We would like to not have the 210 number but that's simply the guardrail of 70% of the National Guard detachment. So we're growing the National Guard detachment to 300 cadets. 70% is the 210. So it was just the simple math. We also want to incentivize excellence. And although we would love to have every cadet on a scholarship, we believe this allows us to select the best cadets for that program. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Representative Moore.
Hello there. And thank you for bringing this bill. I, like the chair, would like to know why is it a minimum of 6? Can you explain that?
I'll take a stab, and if they've got any anecdotal evidence to provide, but typically what happens is oftentimes, I know one said that she was a counselor, you may have 3 or 4. If you had it limited to that, 2 or 3 may end up having an opportunity to receive a different scholarship. They make a different choice later in their senior year. They may decide, beginning of their senior year, they want to go into the military, and then they decide, well, I don't want to do that. Or potentially they don't get through the rigorous process to become a cadet. There may be something in their health that prevents them. So having a minimum of 6 gives them the opportunity to have a good pool of candidates for the program. And then the reason that I think that they have a 10 cap is right now that would be putting about 140 applications a year to get the typical growth. I think this was a high growth year. They have 45 recipients this year. That's not always the case. And I think the captain indicated that 2 or 3 have actually dropped out of that. So it may only be a net of 42. Just that's to help address the variability.
We don't have a minimum right now, do we?
I think the target is 3 to 6 currently. And this just sets the standard so that we can get more active. And I would argue part of the reason that we're bringing this bill too is to make the awareness to all of our colleagues, work with your local school system, especially if they have a JROTC in your district, most of us do have at least one. That will help you be a part of that process.
Well, I've had the honor of nominating one this year, but not more than one. I don't think that a lot of the schools know, and once we get this going, maybe it would be to my advantage or our advantage to send notice to the graduating coaches. But I just was worried about that minimum number because you may only get one out of a school. I would be concerned about that.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. We'll consider that, and I think it's the awareness of the program, and this will give us that visibility, and so we appreciate it.
Thank you. And because we have a hard stop with this room at 2:00, we're at motor. Representative Barnes, you had a question?
Thanks for bringing this bill, Chairman. Really quick question on line 28 through 30. Pretty much, is there some type of criteria in place for the selection of the alternate nominees? So if it wasn't filled, do you just go pick a name out of a hat, or is there some criteria on how we pick someone outside of the congressional district?
I'll let them speak to the process if they, then we may have to bring up the head of.
So yes, ma'am, it's the same criteria, but basically what it allows us to do is to go to another part of the state and pull from that list of qualified candidates. So that's what this does. It's from the qualified candidates across the entire states. Basically, we will have a longer list then and allow us to select.
So how do you choose who you want off that list? Like who?
It's the same. I mean, can Captain Holbrook?
Ma'am, there's a committee that goes through, and after following interviews, they go through and rank each individual applicant. So it's an order of merit list based off the committee votes. And then obviously if in that district there's another individual in that district, we're gonna go to that person. However, if we have to look outside that district, that's what we go to.
That answers my question. I appreciate this, Bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is Chairman Bonner in the room? Chairman Bonner, you have the floor, sir. I think you had something you wanted to share.
Well, thank you, Chairman. And I appreciate y'all's time crunch, so I will be brief. But I just wanted to mention, this is something I don't think was brought up necessarily, but University of North Georgia is second only to West Point in the number of Army officers that's commissioned every year. And for the state of Georgia, in particular our Georgia National Guard, University of North Georgia is the primary commissioning source. So we have a vested interest as a state and to increase the number of folks that go to University of North Georgia under a scholarship of this type that immediately upon commissioning enter into our Georgia Army National Guard and spend that time that they're paying back that scholarship in service to our state. So it is not like other scholarships where students may go like on a Hope Scholarship or something else and may or may not stay in the state after they graduate. But this scholarship ensures that the state of Georgia is going to get a high rate of return for that investment. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Bonner. Our chairman is about to rejoin us, it looks like imminently. Would you, in a minute or less, describe the program as if I were an incoming student interested in the scholarship? Because I think people don't know what a great thing it really is. And if they did, we would have people pouring into it.
I would love to have a scholarship recipient talk about that, Mr. Chairman.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Captain Trevor Holbrooks. I'm currently the University of North Georgia National Guard Detachment Commander. As Dr. Shannon mentioned, I was a recipient of the Georgia Military Service Scholarship. And I'd like to start by saying thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be able to pursue my service to my state and nation. It's one of my life's best blessings. This is not my story came from North Hall High School, graduated in 2011, where I received the scholarship and went to North Georgia. And then I joined the Georgia Army National Guard, went through, thrived at University of North Georgia, and then commissioned into the Georgia Army National Guard as an engineer officer proudly. And since then, I've been in service to the state and nation, worked full-time in the National Guard. And that has just absolutely been an incredible experience for me, but my story is the same as those that came before me. My battalion commander, Lieutenant Colonel Craig Henderson, he was leading the front in this past Hurricane Helene response, going through and responding to our state's catastrophes. Deployed multiple times to Iraq and Afghanistan. I spent 2018, 2019 in Afghanistan. So we as Georgia Guardsmen are not just staying domestic. We are serving our nation, Oconus, and then serving our communities and our neighbors, and proudly doing that. The majority of my peers, they are still well past that required repayment timeframe, and they're thriving in the civilian sector, whether it be in finance, engineering, all sectors of Georgia business, and that is very commonplace amongst these recipients. Notably, Chairman, I'd like to talk on my role in the committee. I get to at times sit through some of the GMS interviews.
Captain, I'm sorry. I would love. I mean, I am going to interrupt you. We have 2 or 3 more measures and 13 more minutes. If I can be so bold, I'd love to have you back. If Wednesday, when we bring it back, or another time. But I'm going to have to ask you if you would to wind it up. I don't mean to disrespect you, the university, and certainly not your uniform, but we just have to.
Understood, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I'll leave it at thank you.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, while we are proud of those that serve us, I thank you very much. Could you wave unless you? All right. Well, there you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
To the governor's floor leader, we've got that. We're going to move on now because we do have 2, 3 more things that we have to do. I have multiple people. I'm getting the eye out there. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President. We'll get you right back if you have anything you need to change. There's 2 of you sitting beside each other. I know you need to go, Chairman Silcox. I'm going to, y'all can both come at the same time. Representative Rice, you come up here. I'm going to give you about a minute to tell us about yours because we're going to have you back on Wednesday. Can I let her go? You can. It's just going to, but we're probably not going to get to you then. I mean, we've got 13 minutes. If you just want to sound yours in a minute, and we're going to have you, because this is going to get you your first hearing, so we'll be ready to take action when we bring you back. So I think I know what you're trying to do here with the workforce. Yes, ma'am. Tell us about 1345.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So Chairman and committee members, House Bill 1345 positions Georgia to implement the new Workforce Pell Grant Program, made possible through federal workforce and education investments included in the Big Beautiful Bill. The legislation establishes a clear state approval process so Georgia can access and deploy these federal funds to strengthen our workforce and expand opportunity for Georgians seeking career pathways outside of traditional degree programs. The federal government created the funding opportunity, but House Bill 1345 keeps the program approval and oversight at the state level. So 1345 aligns Georgia law with expanded federal grant eligibility that now allows students and working adults to use federal financial aid for short-term workforce training programs. These funds are specifically designed for non-credit industry recognized certification programs that meet verified employer and industry workforce needs. The intent of the bill is simple. Create a clear, accountable process so qualified training providers can receive workforce Pell Grant funding and connect Georgians directly to jobs, placements, and higher wages. So the workforce Pell Grant fund short-term, high-quality workforce training programs typically last weeks or months rather than years. These programs focus on high-demand industries as identified by the governor and the State Workforce Development Board. Programs industry recognize credentials aligned directly with employer hiring needs and are designed especially for low-income students and individuals seeking rapid workforce industry through non-college pathways. So the accountability standards for these providers they have to be in operation for 1 year prior to approval. They have to demonstrate a minimum of 70% completion rate of the program, and they achieve a 70% job placement. Produce earning outcomes where graduates reach wages have to be at least 150% above the federal poverty level plus the cost of the training of the program. So why it matters, it brings new federal workforce funding from the Big Beautiful Bill to Georgia. It expands access to rapid job-focused training opportunities, helps employers fill critical work shortages, and ensures that Georgia does not leave federal dollars on the table. So in closing, workforce Pell Grants provide a direct pathway for individuals to gain industry credentials, enter high-demand careers quickly, and achieve wages above poverty thresholds. By establishing a clear state framework, 1345 allows Georgia institutions and workforce providers to access federally funded workforce Pell Grants, accelerating workforce entry, increasing earnings potential, and supporting economic growth across our state. House Bill 1345 represents a significant opportunity to leverage federal resources, strengthen Georgia's workforce pipeline, and expand access to career-ready training aligned with employer demand. Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, I respectfully ask for your favorable consideration, House Bill 1345.
Thank you, Representative. You have a couple of questions, but we're going to, the representatives have waived those till we see you again on Wednesday, and they may see you on the floor, Whip Park and Dr. Clark. Thank you for the presentation. We just wanted to get you in because the bill came in late and we're running out of days before crossover. So you will be back on Wednesday and available for action on Wednesday.
Thank you.
With that, House Bill 1363, Chairman Silcox. And it's clear to me as the chair comes to present the measure, we have a number of speakers on the bill. We probably, I'm told we have to give up the room at 2:00. So we may not get to all speakers. If we don't, we will carry it over to Wednesday. You have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for hearing this bill today. I greatly appreciate it. I am due in the Education Subcommittee on another bill at 2:00, so I will be very brief. This bill is brought to us by the Georgia Solidarity Network. Mr. Jeremy Berry is here on behalf of them. And the bill basically is to extend civil rights protections to people not only under Title IX in our schools, but also in Title VI. And Title VI, of course, includes specifically race, religion, that is all religions, creed, or national origin. And so this is a position that already exists, at least in our university systems. But it gives people, it gives someone with a discrimination claim a place to go, because right now they don't know where to go. They don't know whether to call the police. They don't know where to go. And so this would just ask the Title IX person to take on additional responsibility. And I'm going to turn it over to Jeremy.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and committee members. My name is Jeremy Berry, and I'm here on behalf of the Georgia Solidarity Network, which is a bipartisan organization that focuses on issues of anti-Semitism, among others. I'll be brief in my remarks today. I want to thank the sponsors of this bill, Representative Silcox, Leader Abstration, Representatives Panich, Fleming, and Carson. Recently, a sixth grader in Cobb County received an anonymous note in his locker with a threat and a slur that said, "Kill yourself, kike." The student's parents went to the school administrator, who said, "Oh, that's awful. And if it happens again, let us know." The kid was reluctant to return to school because the school leaders didn't want to be bothered with his safety. Now, however, the Federal Office of Civil Rights is currently investigating the Cobb County schools as a result of this matter. Many school districts are not equipped with how to deal with issues of anti-Semitism. A 2024 report said 35% of Jewish college students experience anti-Semitism during their time on campus. Another report said the number of anti-Semitic incidents on campus has increased 27%. Only 12% of students surveyed felt that reported incidents were properly addressed by their institutions. Again, in the interest of time, I'll be succinct, but suffice to say, many school districts do not, though they do a great job of educating kids, do not know how to deal with issues of discrimination, of anti-Semitism, of racism. The federal law under Title VI provides ample protection for groups that are experiencing illegal discrimination and unlawful harassment in our public school systems. What we found in practice, though, is that they're not well understood, consistently enforced, and sufficiently reported. A statewide Title VI coordinator is the solution to help protect the civil rights that are already afforded administrators, employees, and students. What we're trying to do is to have a single coordinator for the K-12 system. This is not creating a new job. It is assigning a responsibility to an existing person so that we can have uniformity across the state. We can see trends in the various school systems, and we can address issues properly, because unfortunately many school systems are not equipped to handle these. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we did have a question. Dr. Clark, did you want to ask the author a question?
It's quick. Thank you so much, and thank you for your testimony. My question has to do with the overlap between federal Title VI protections and what this bill is seeking to do. And I notice on the federal level, there are already protections against race, ethnicity, and national origin, but this bill also adds disability, religion, and marital status as well. Or maybe, I think that's right. Is there a reason why this bill is seeking to go beyond what Title VI does? And is there any concern that this coordinator will now have double the amount of work, since they have to deal with quite a bit more than what the federal level is dealing with?
Well, I guess I just want to understand your question. Are you saying those groups should not be protected? Or?
I'm just asking because this is, y'all said this is to bring Title VI protections, but currently Title VI protection is race, ethnicity, and national origin, not disability, religion, and marital status. So is it your
Right. Those are already,
intent?
I think, covered under various federal laws that may or may not be able to be handled at the school level. So that's, again, one person sort of handling all of those. I think you're referring to line 23, and that's just a restatement of the law, the current law. I think you're looking at LC 650073, referring to lines 23 and 24, and that's just restating the law. We're not trying to expand civil rights by any stretch.
The chair's going to call time out. So you're referring to 650073. We don't have that. The bill we were given was 650065. So, I mean, that.
Well, but
No,
I
mean,
think that issue, yeah, no, understood.
No, I was just saying, I just want to get the right bill in front of the committee. That's not to say either of you are.
And I just want to point out, for a point of clarification, you're talking about definitions. Also in section 2, it is laid out, and it just, the way I'm reading this bill, this Title VI coordinator would be responsible for handling all of these categories, not just the ones that a Title VI officer would handle at the federal level.
The legislation, again, the version I'm looking at, I assume the prior version as well, says that Title VI coordinator shall receive, document, and investigate complaints of discrimination, harassment occurring in any public school in this state and prepare written findings. And again, this is also saying that the Department of Ed designates a coordinator who monitors complaints of discrimination under Title VI and other applicable federal and state non-discrimination laws, rules, and regs.
Thank you.
And again, your LC that you're reading from is LC 650073.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to move us forward if the whip will allow. We're not going to. We have some folks here that want to testify on the bill. We clearly have some. We got to get on the same page, because if that's 650073 and does have an S on it, it wasn't written as a sub for this bill. That was another draft bill.
Maybe that was a prior version I'm working.
Right, and we could be apples and oranges here. I mean, that doesn't make you wrong or right. It's just we're not.
I think the answers would remain the same, but your point is well taken.
Right. I mean, there's going to be some questions. So if we could do that, I have a lot of people that signed up for this. We have just a couple. Well, we actually have no minutes left.
I've got another bill downstairs.
Yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to apologize to those that came to speak, and Representative Pence, you a signer of the bill, and I was going to actually go to all of them before I came to you, because you're here every day. But I'm going to ask you all to come back on Wednesday so we can do this. This is obviously a very important issue. It's important to the committee. It's important to the state of Georgia, and it's important to the people of Georgia that it impacts. So if I can, I'm going to set this, and we'll have it back for the committee. We'll make sure. If you would, Representative Page, work with Chairman Silcox and make sure we have the language you wish us to address. And if the whip would would agree with me on that, we'll set this aside and we'll bring it back for a first hearing and testimony on Wednesday, and we'll get things moving along, because the pro tem has joined us, and I need to hear 1293. If Representative Jones is here, I thank you, for bringing that to us. Is that okay, Dr. Clark? You agree with us that we'll get them back and get on the right page. Thank you very much. With that, we'll move on from 1360. My apologies to those that came to speak. I promise you will get your opportunity to do that on Wednesday. Thank you. Representative Jones is here. Yes, there you are. Yes, ma'am.
All right. I think I'll hopefully be. Oh, I do have this to hand out.
Yes, ma'am. I hate it when that happens.
For those of you who were, was that a subcommittee? Maybe that was committee meeting. It was committee. Yeah, we're all together. Okay. That's better. That's better.
He's going to say TCS. He's going to keep it open. I think we made it back. Yeah.
Y'all are fired up? Okay. Well, that's good. I guess that's good. Thank you.
To the Speaker Pro Tem, I'm going to